back to Hands Up, and yes, we still have Rochelle Maria Rao, Miss India International 2012 with us. So you told us about the grueling sessions of Miss India contest. So like I said, there's lots of us who would like to know what really happens, So what do you basically go through in the grooming sessions?
The thing about a pageant is that the most that you learn, at least for me, the most that I learned was not during the sessions.
Okay.
It was actually just being there, being on time, because we had sessions, we had sponsor commitments, shoots, outings, and in the middle of all of that, we had to have our makeup on and perfect, get our 3 meals. So there's a lot of stress and there's a lot of, you've got to just be there all the time because you're being photographed all the time, you're being judged all the time, you're being asked to come down for breakfast at 6 o'clock in the morning with all your makeup and hair done. So it's so many things, and it's dealing with that intense routine that actually taught me the most. And at the same time, you have to remember to learn from the sessions. So when you put that in that perspective, it's like the sessions, it took so much for us to, when we sat down, just like disconnect from everything else and just focus on what the person was trying to teach us. I think for me, the most important sessions that we had were with Sabira Merchant. I don't know how many of you know her, but she is one of the leading ladies when it comes to theatre. She was instrumental in bringing English theatre to India. And she's one of the oldest theatre professionals that are around, and she's amazing. The woman is performing all the time. She walked into the room and she was like, "Good evening, ladies, and why are you sitting like that? Sit up straight, behave like a beauty queen." And we're like, wow. So that session was great. She had us come up and talk, and you feel kind of dumb, like you're back in school when she tells you to say petty bought a bit of bitter butter and all of that. But it's nice to have someone focus on you and say, you're saying this wrong, you could say it better this way. The same way we had sessions with Mark Robinson. Every evening our day would end with him like asking us what we had learned through the day, and then making us come up and do question answers and things like that, where he would tell us, "Oh, you're walking better," or "You're standing better, talking better." And it's really nice to be able to go back to school, so to speak, because school was the last place I remember where anyone cared enough to tell you when you were doing something wrong. And in this case, through the day, we had people correcting us on everything, Alicia is one of the sweetest people I've ever met. Alicia Roth, she's one of the country's leading ramp models, and she's also a mom. So I think that makes her a really caring, sweet teacher. She was there with us, like literally holding our feet and turning it to make sure that we were standing the right way. And for someone like her, she is like awesome. She's one of the best in the country, and for her to be touching my feet, So it was intense. It was very specific to each and every aspect that you need to work on for a pageant, but also for life, for a career in entertainment, So it was great to have people focusing on us, and I think these 3 that I mentioned, those were the sessions that were the most important to me.
Right, nice. Okay, so you had to literally live with a bunch of other, pretty beautiful women. So it's believed that when a bunch of women are put together, there are definite cat fights. So how was it for you?
I think I was the entertainment of the group. I think because of the job that I'm in and the person that I am, I can't just sit quietly. So I was kind of like everybody's friend. And for the first 20 days, we were all really close. I mean, there was no problems. Everyone was getting along. Everyone was having a great time. In fact, I think I learned so much about our country because this year they made it a point to bring in girls from every part of the country. And I learned so much about like Sikkim, Assam, Chandigarh. I don't even know anything about these places or the traditions or anything. So I learned a lot that way. But I think when the divide actually came was when we went to Goa for the sub-contest crowning. Because at that point, some people lost their confidence when they saw that some of the other girls got more awards or, whatever it was. And it was reaching the last leg of the pageant, and some people were really starting to break and give up and give in to politics and listening to rumors that they were hearing from people outside the pageant who honestly, I feel, why would you listen? Like, I was hearing about, stuff there are these gossip sites and things that the girls were going on, and I refused to take a look at any of those things because these people are outside the pageant. How do they have any clue what is going on, you know?
True.
But yes, sadly, some girls did fall victim to all of that gossip, and there was a divide. But those of us who were friends, like Asta and Erica, like my best buds from the pageant, we stayed friends. So I don't know. I think it was more like we just kind of stopped talking, but it wasn't like anyone got into a cat fight or scratched each other's eyes out or anything like that.
Coming back to the contest itself, there are a list of rounds that you go through, right?
Yeah.
So which was the toughest round for you?
Do you mean through the pageant, through the 30
Yeah,
days?
yeah.
I think for me it wasn't any particular round. Actually, we were lucky because in the 49 years that Pantaloons Femina Miss India has been taking place, the girls have always been in Bombay for the entire time. They've taken short trips like to Goa or Lavasa, but they've never, you know, spent more than a couple of days outside of Bombay. They've been in the same hotel for the entire 30 days. But we started out in Cochin at the Carnoustie Resort, and it was brilliant there because we were on the beach and it was the most amazing resort I've ever stayed in. So we eased into it. So the first 10 days were a lot of fun, and for me the tough part was when it got to the middle of the pageant, when we got back to Bombay, when the routine got knocked out of the window because our schedules went crazy. We were doing 4-5 different sponsor commitments through the day and still had to go for our sessions with Mark at the end of the day where he's still judging you and like you're not answering this question properly, or you know, and you're so tired and you're so stressed and you just want to cry, you know, because you're like, give me a break, please give me a break. I've been up from 5 in the morning. But that's where the fighters get separated from those who are going to break, you know. That's where I think being in a pageant, that's the most trying time, when you feel like you've done more than you should have and you deserve some kind of you know, award then and there, but instead you're just getting judged further, and you know, so that was my toughest point, I think. But then obviously when we went to Goa, a lot of people expected us all to say that the bikini round in Goa would be difficult, but we had gotten into such awesome shape by the time we got to Goa. You should have seen us, you know. We walked down the ramp, the sea breeze is there, there's this huge crowd cheering us. Backstage, when we got off the ramp, we're like, I want to go back on again, you know, because it felt liberating. It felt really, really good because when you're in shape, you want to show it off.
I know you also won the best body title, right?
Yes, I did. That was a huge encouragement for me, especially after the diet and after all the hard work I had put in. It felt absolutely amazing to win that title. And also, incidentally, you know, when I won the title, I was a little bit scared because in the last 49 years, whenever a girl has won Miss Perfect 10 or Miss Body Beautiful, she has not won the main title. So at that point I was like, uh-oh, you know. But thankfully I broke that myth, so that's good. But yeah, Goa was awesome, and Goa is where I got my confidence back as well, because I was like, okay, I've won 3 subtitles. There's got to be something in me that's going to work, you know. So I better suck it up and just give it my best shot.
Well, that's nice. Well, we're going to take another short break on Hands Up, and when we come back, she's going to tell us what's in store for her in the future.